Stop Overthinking, a story about letting go. Clara was known for her warm smile and thoughtful nature, but beneath that cheerful exterior lay a mind that never seemed to rest. She was the kind of person who could turn even the smallest decision into a marathon of doubts and fears. If she had to choose between attending a party or staying home, Clara would spiral into questions like, "What if I go and no one talks to me? But if I stay home, will people think I'm avoiding them? What if they stop inviting me altogether?" Her constant need to analyze every situation left her drained and robbed her of the joy of living in the moment. Her friends often noticed how tense she seemed. "Clara," Mia once said, "you're always so worried about everything. Why don't you just relax a little?" Clara sighed. "I want to, Mia, but what if relaxing means I miss something important? What if I make the wrong choice?" Mia just shook her head and smiled. "You think too much for your own good, Clara." One crisp Saturday morning, Mia called Clara and insisted she join a picnic at the park. Clara hesitated. "Who else will be there? What should I bring? What if I don't fit in with everyone else?" Clara asked, the questions tumbling out of her mouth. "Stop overthinking and just come," Mia said with a laugh. "You don't need to bring anything fancy. Just bring yourself." Reluctantly, Clara agreed. She packed some sandwiches and headed to the park. When she arrived, the sun was shining, children were playing in the distance, and a light breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers. The scene was idyllic, yet Clara's thoughts buzzed like a swarm of bees. "Are my sandwiches good enough? What if I don't know what to say to people?" To her surprise, the picnic turned out to be delightful. Mia introduced her to a diverse group of friends, including Ethan, a friendly artist with a knack for making people feel at ease. Ethan was painting a landscape on his sketch pad when Clara sat down beside him. "You look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders," Ethan said, glancing at her with a smile. Clara laughed nervously. "That obvious, huh?" "Let me guess. You're overthinking things again?" Ethan asked. Clara raised an eyebrow. "How did you know?" "I used to be just like you," Ethan said, setting his sketch pad down. "I'd stress over everything, whether my art was good enough, whether people liked me, whether I was making the right choices. But then I realized something. Overthinking doesn't solve problems, it just makes you miserable." Clara tilted her head, intrigued. "So what do you do instead?" "I remind myself that life isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be lived," Ethan said. "You can't plan for every outcome, and that's okay. Sometimes the best things in life happen when you stop trying to control everything." His words struck a chord with Clara. For the rest of the afternoon, she decided to focus on the present moment. She laughed at jokes, listened to stories, and even joined a game of frisbee. For the first time in a long while, she felt a sense of lightness. Over the next few weeks, Clara tried to put Ethan's advice into practice. She started small, choosing her clothes without agonizing over the options, sending emails without rewriting them 5 times, and letting herself make decisions without obsessing over every possible outcome. Of course, it wasn't easy. There were still moments when her mind tried to pull her back into its endless loop of worries. But each time she reminded herself of Ethan's words. Life isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be lived. One day, Clara found herself at a cafe, sipping coffee and journaling about her progress. She wrote about how much lighter she felt and how freeing it was to let go of the need for control. She also noticed how her relationships had improved. Her friends appreciated her newfound ease, and she was even starting to feel more confident at work. As she closed her journal, Clara smiled. She knew she wasn't cured of overthinking, but she also knew she didn't need to be. She had learned to embrace life's uncertainties and trust herself a little more each day. If you're like Clara and find yourself stuck in the endless loop of overthinking, remember this: most of your fears won't come true. The scenarios you imagine in your head are rarely as bad as you think. Focus on what you can control. Let go of the rest. It's out of your hands anyway. Be present. The more time you spend worrying about the future, the less time you have to enjoy the now. So take a deep breath, trust yourself, and let life unfold. You don't have to have all the answers, you just have to keep moving forward. As Clara learned, the best moments often happen when you stop trying to plan everything and simply live. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories.